Penguin Random House Audio presents The Book That Held Her Heart by Mark Lawrence. Read for you by Jessica Whittaker.
To libraries, bookshops, and everyone who works in them. The story so far. For those of you who have had to wait a while for this book, I provide brief catch-up notes to Book 2, so your memories may be refreshed, and I can avoid the awkwardness of having to have characters tell each other things they already know for your benefit. Here I carry forward only what is of importance to the tale that follows. The library is effectively eternal and infinite. It reaches into many worlds and contains a truly vast collection of books, or the equivalent, from a great many species, spanning all periods of history. It comprises square chambers 2 miles on each side and is staffed by gleaming white assistants that stock and restock the books. The door from one chamber to the next opens for every member of some species and not for those of others. The further you travel from an entrance keyed to one particular species, the rarer become the doors they can open. The exchange is an in-between kind of place, whose appearance is shaped partly by the expectations of those visiting it. The exchange can change the appearance of others to suit visitors' expectations, and it makes the speech of everyone in it understandable to everyone else. This translation and disguise effect can follow, for a limited time, the people who use its portals. The exchange contains many doors. Those doors lead to the past, present, and future, and to different worlds. The furthest forward time a person visits becomes their present. If a person leaves the exchange by a door that leads to their past, they appear there as a ghost, invisible to the people of that time, and unable to touch anything or communicate with anyone. They will regain their normal form in the exchange, and in any place in their present or future. Left to its own devices, the exchange brings things together and creates coincidences. The mechanism is a small building into which a single person can take a single book. It will then allow them to experience and interrogate the book as if they were walking through the world in which it's set, or talking to the author with the advantage of all manner of solid illusions to illustrate the text. Escapes are the blood of the library, and can take physical form. They can manifest as a person's fears, and often mirror the violence around them. There are many mythologies concerning the library's creation. All of them are true. The one that is used by Livira, Eva, and the others in order to make sense of the situation concerns 2 brothers, Irad, who created the library, and Jaspeth, who wants to destroy it. The current library is an imperfect compromise, resulting from a fragile peace between the 2 brothers. A low-level war between the brothers' proxies has been flaring back and forth across history. It appears to be coming to a head again in the here and now. In the library's war, Ute is championing the current compromise. Mayland has sided with Jaspeth and wants to destroy the library. The main characters we have already met in this story are Livira, a human from a settlement on the dust, now a librarian aged around 20. She spent around 200 years trapped inside an assistant, known as the Assistant, that raised 5 Canith children trapped in a library chamber. Eva, a Canith in his early 20s, who spent a decade in the mechanism with Livira's book, last seen failing to save the Assistant, in which Livira was trapped from being destroyed by Skia. Clovis, raised as Eva's sister, dedicated to the arts of war. Until recently, she hated all humans, since humans, specifically King Oenold and his soldiers, slaughtered all of her people in the library chamber when she was a child. Starvel, raised as Eva's brother, dedicated to the arts of stealth and assassination. Peril, raised as Evar's brother, specializes in understanding and manipulating others. Mayland, raised as Evar's brother, thought to be dead, but turned out to have escaped the chamber a year before Ivar did, specializes in history. Arpix, a male librarian, early 20s, companion to Livira, studious and serious. Jella, a female bookbinder, early 20s, companion to Livira, timid, kindly. Carlotte, a female house reader, early 20s, companion to Livira, vivacious, adventurous. Lita, a rich trainee diplomat, early 20s, sister to Livira's recently deceased friend Milan. Ute, deputy head librarian, former assistant, married to now deceased head librarian. Yolanda, Ute's daughter, a child in appearance but has spent years lost in the library. Lord Algar, a one-eyed nobleman who has tried to put an end to Livira's career at every stage. King Owenald, ruler of the now destroyed Krath City, stirred up hatred against the peoples who live on the dust, including Livira, for political ends. Salamonda, Ute's housekeeper and cook, a woman in her late 50s. Kelcha, a female Gunnar. The Gunnar were enslaved by humans and by Cannith. Kelcha and her brother Hellet were manipulated by Mayland and Starvel to help create an assistant that would work to destroy the library from the inside. Kelcha wrongly blamed Livira and Ivar for the harms done to her, and worked to destroy them using mechanical Gunnar. Wentworth, Ute's artificial cat that has many powers but seldom uses them, the most powerful library guide. Ed Garrelin, an artificial raven created as a library guide. Valente, a large, very black artificial dog created as a library guide. The book that broke the world ended with 3 portals in the floor of a reading room side chamber within the library. The 3 portals were created by the blood of an assistant, Hellet, Kelcha's brother, when a giant mechanical Gunnar made by Kelcha beat him to death on the floor. With the mechanical on fire and about to explode, the portals offered escape routes to those gathered there. Through the first portal went the Cannith, Mayland, Starvel, Clovis, and an unconscious Ivar, who had earlier been shot trying to save Arpix, plus Salamonda and Livira's friend Nera. Mayland is heading the effort to destroy the library, effectively championing Jaspeth. Livira tried to go with them to be with Ivar, but Mayland stopped her. Through the second portal went Livira, Yolanda, Jella, Lita, and a dozen or so survivors from the city. Yolanda is trying to fulfill Irad's vision for the library, fighting the restrictions on it. Only Keril followed Ute through the third portal, both of them seeking some kind of compromise that will stop the warring parties. Arpix, Salamunda, and Nera were captured by King Owenald's soldiers and are now his prisoners. Lord Algar has Livira's book and wants Arpix to help him use its power. King Owenald's group is still trapped in the library, and his soldiers have resorted to cannibalism, killing and eating some of the civilians with them. The alphabet of scars exists so that those lessons need not be carved into our flesh a second time. Holocaust, author unknown. Chapter 1. Anne. As a baby, Anne had taken her first ever steps among the aisles of what her grandfather called his library, but was in fact a second-hand bookshop. It wasn't even his, since his mother, the Hoffman matriarch, was still alive, though you wouldn't know it to look at her. Anne had been told that Great-Grandma Ruth was 93, but she had seen in one of the huge encyclopedias that had to be lifted down for her an engraving of an ancient queen, embalmed with forgotten skill, and preserved against the tide of nearly 50 centuries. Nana Ruth looked every bit as old.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?